Hello, you're live.
الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. اللهم إنا نسألك أن تبلغنا رمضان وأن ترزقنا فيه العمل الصالح والعلم النافع وأن ترزقنا توبة نصوحة وأن تمن علينا بفضلك ورحمتك إنك أنت الغفور الرحيم. We begin by praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we send our salah and our salam upon our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, his entire household and all his companions, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to unite all of us with all of them. To begin, it is a very important moment in our life to understand the goals and the challenges and the obstacles. And anything would be like a hurdle between us and achieving these goals, and to be focused all the time and to be aware from the elephants. And I mentioned this story which is about being serious and dedicated when you have your goal, and to be a truthful person, and to show Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that you are sadiq. The story is about Imam Malik rahimahullah. One of the scholars whose madhab spread everywhere, and he has a lot of followers. Imam Malik rahimahullah, they mentioned the story about him teaching one day one of the masajid, and he had his own session, he had his own class, and his students used to come from a long distance to attend his class, right? And to seek knowledge. But what happened, one day, the Imam Malik rahimahullah, he was sitting and he was teaching as usual. And then all of a sudden, a man cried from outside the masjid. He said, "Oh guys, there is an elephant arrived to Al-Madinah." Imam Malik, as we know, he is Imam Dar al-Hijrah. He is the Imam of the Al-Madinah at his time, right? So at that time, Medina was for them something weird to see an elephant. So most of them haven't seen elephant before, right? So when this man cried out saying there's an elephant in the outside, what happened? Everybody rushed to see the elephant, right? And they left him alone. They left Imam Malik alone, except only one student. He didn't go outside. He didn't actually care to go and to see the elephant. So Imam Malik asked him, "Have you ever seen an elephant in your life? Why didn't you go to see the elephant like everybody?" And this man, this student, he is the one that we like to be him, right? He said, "Oh yeah, Imam, إنما جئت لأرى مالكا ولم آتي لأرى الفيل." I have come from my own town. I've traveled all the way to you in order to see you, to seek the knowledge from you. I'm not coming, actually, I didn't come to see the elephant. This man, his name was Yahya ibn Yahya al-Laythi. Yahya ibn Yahya al-Laythi. And the scholars mentioned, subhanAllah, look to the result of that. This man, he knew his goal very well. He didn't get distracted, he didn't get diverted, right? And this is actually the moment of reflection that I want to emphasize on. Like when you know your goal, you wouldn't be diverted and you wouldn't be sidetracked by any other temptation, right? Because you know your goal very, very well. You know why are you here? Why did you come here, right? So they said this man, Yahya ibn Yahya al-Laythi, rahimahullah, he narrated al-Muwatta. Muwatta is a very, what they call prominent book for Imam Malik, very renowned book, right? And al-Muwatta had many different narrators. They narrated from Imam Malik, this Muwatta. They said the only authenticated version is the one that is narrated by Yahya ibn Yahya al-Laythi, by the one who didn't go to see the field, the elephant, right? By the one who was actually very dedicated to know, to do his goal, to challenge the temptations. So when we speak about Ramadan now, Ramadan, as one of the scholars mentioned, like it's a time of purifying our soul, our actions. It is a time to develop our even sincerity, right? So when we speak about Ramadan, we speak about a month that might, and inshallah, if we take it seriously, will transform our life. Our life before Ramadan shouldn't be the same life after Ramadan. Or we can say the life after Ramadan should be different. Our lifestyle after Ramadan should be different in terms of correcting our mistakes, purifying our hearts. So he said many different elephants in our life. One of these elephants, the social media in our life. Social media actually is one of the big elephants, huge elephants that distract us from reading Quran, reciting Quran, adhkar, focusing. We waste our time. So it is one thing we need to focus on: how to get rid of this elephant in our life. One more obstacle is when we allow others to waste our time, like to make us busy doing something which is not significant, right? So being a man of God is not something easy. You have to think about, how can I be a man of God? How can I just use my time, right? How can I utilize Allah's blessings upon me? Many people died before this day, right? Many people are not going to witness Ramadan. We ask Allah to make us from those who will witness Ramadan. But many people, they died, they didn't witness Ramadan. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has chosen some of us to witness this month. So we need to take it seriously, and we need to understand that we are going to face many difficulties. So first, we speak about the social media, like whether it's Facebook, Twitter, or even the insignificant sites that people just try to, out of curiosity, just to go and see, right? The second elephant, which might destroy our fasting, actually is backbiting, right? We said afatul lisan, the ailment of the tongue, the disease of the tongue, right? The problems that we might bring to ourselves because of our tongue. So this is the second thing that we need to focus on. Jabir ibn Abdullah, rahimahullah, he said, do not make the day of your fasting similar or like the day of that you're not fasting on. Don't make both of them equal to each other, right? In terms of increasing your ibadat, your adhkar, your tasbih, right? And then he mentioned lowering your gaze, and don't allow yourself to to look here and there, right? We have to lower our gaze. We have to control our tongue. We have to control our temper, right? Like being angry is nothing good, but to contain this anger in Ramadan is one of the challenges, right? So they said we have to first, before we start plan for Ramadan, before we start planning for this month, we need first to know what are the things that might take our hasanat away, right? And to stop the leak of these hasanat. Like we have sometimes, mashallah, intention to do good deeds, but sometimes we're not actually worried or we don't give a concern about how can we stop losing our good deeds. So they say as someone is collecting golds and diamonds and but what the container he has is like container which is like has a lot of holes in it. So whatever he collects in this bag that he has, right, it doesn't actually save whatever he puts on or in. So this is something actually we've thought about. If you think about that, one of the things that we need to think about like very seriously, just to make it like very easy for you. First, we said intention to have a determination, and there is a big difference, huge and wide difference, and wide gap between having an intention to do good deeds and having false hope. Like we hope to do a lot of things, right? But sometimes we don't work for it. We don't work for our goals. I want to finish Quran, right? One time at least, if it's not two or three, right? I want to, keep myself busy with, a useful material in Ramadan, whether tafsir or reading about the meaning of the Quran. I want to, inshallah, pray Taraweeh every night, right? Like full tarawih. I want to apply the sunnah, right? When I eat, when I drink, when I go. I want to maintain the salawat, all of them in jama'ah. Like Fajr, Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha in jama'ah, right? You can put this goal for yourself, right? And to work on it. Because sometimes we like daydream, like we do with each other, right? Just daydreaming and that we speak and there's no goal, there's no plan, there's no schedule, there's nothing. Only just speaking, right? But we are not working. Like if you want to travel now, what are you going to do? If you really want to travel, you would go and you will do it. Speak about traveling. What is the point of traveling? And it's very good to enjoy traveling, man. And just speaking, giving lecture about travel. No, you're gonna go and book a ticket. That's it. Book a ticket. Your flight will be this day. That's it. Once you do that, alhamdulillah, when we say to anybody, I'm thinking to travel, I'm traveling, now you're serious, you're truthful, right? So the point we do our best to achieve our goals, the worldly goals which are related to the dunya. Very well, mashallah, we're very serious. But when it comes to the goals which will lead us to our last destination in Jannah, inshallah, the final destination, sometimes we take it like lightly, we don't take it seriously, or we take it for granted. Inshallah, it's going to be okay. I can live, inshallah, till I witness this Ramadan, other Ramadans, right? So why do not have a guarantee to live even till the next Ramadan, or even this Ramadan too, right? So from now, setting your goal, right? The first thing that we need to do, once we set the goal, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most merciful. He's not dealing with us like us dealing with ourselves. No. Like if I say to you, the Prophet ﷺ one day he was traveling and a very difficult, very hard battle. What's its name? Al-Usra. Al-Usra. Al-Usra means difficulty. Right? This is the name of the battle. Or hardship. Right? On his way, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, back to the Al-Madinah, or yes, he actually said this statement to the Sahaba. He said, indeed, there are people at Al-Madinah, they are sharing the rewards with you. Every valley you go, they go with you. Means that they take the same reward. They are with you. every single effort you exert, they are sharing with you the same reward. الصحابة said, Ya Rasulullah, وهم بالمدينة, you're telling us about them getting the same reward while they are at the Medina? He said, yes, وهم بالمدينة. Why? قال حبسهم العذر. حبسهم العذر. They had their own excuse. They had their valid excuse not to come to us, not to come with us, not to participate, right? So when we first have the intention, inshallah, even if we cannot do it because of something out of our control, Allah, the most merciful, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, inshallah, He will gonna give you the reward, right? So talking about Ramadan is a great actually mission, because you don't know how to start and where to end. It is actually a very very long, you can say, very great course, training course for ourselves. If we want to speak about Ramadan first, the Prophet ﷺ, he used to give the Sahaba the glad tidings of Ramadan before Ramadan. He used to say to them, جاءكم شهر مبارك, a blessed month approached you. And he used to say to them, get ready, because the Jannah is easy now. The gates of Jannah are open, the gates of hellfire are closed, and the demon or devils are restricted and chained, right? So everything is easy for us to get Allah's pleasure during this month. And then he said, there is actually a caller who calls every before Ramadan. What does he say? يا باغي الخير what? أقبل ويا باغي الشر أقصر. O seeker of good, come forth, come near. O seeker of evil, stop short and desist. Right? So this is actually what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it for us. Right? He opened for us the gates of His rahmah, of His mercy, to increase our ibadah and our ta'at in Ramadan. We can actually say the day in Ramadan is a very short day, right? So we need to have our plan. What can we make the best use of it, the best use of this day, right? So first of all, we said we need to start our day before Fajr, right? And I emphasize on that because this is a key, by the way. The key for you to make your day, is to start with salah. To start your day with salah. And to pray 2 rak'ah. 2 rak'ah at the time when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala descends to the lowest heaven. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, who wants to get my mercy? Who wants to get forgiveness? Who wants to get anything? I would give it to him. Subhanallah, right? Who wants to invoke me? I will accept his dua. So this is actually what happens every night, every single night. And then we said one of the forgotten sunnah is to take your suhoor right before Fajr, And there is nothing which like some people they might say you have to stop eating before Fajr, right? For 5 or 10 minutes. No. You have the right to keep eating and drinking till Fajr, right? Till you make sure the Fajr time is due. This is a time of Salah. You have to stop eating now because Adhan is going to be right now, right? So you eat and drink, you eat your suhoor. While you're eating, right, you need to conjure up in your mind that there is a dua is made for you. There's a dua is made for you from the angels. قال صلى الله عليه وسلم إن الملائكة ليستغفرون للمتسحرين. The angels, they make istighfar. They ask Allah to forgive those who eat suhoor. So while you're eating, look to the barakat now. While you're eating, the angels are making istighfar for you. Not only that, another hadith, قال صلى الله عليه وسلم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على المتسحرين. Indeed, Allah and His angels, they make salah upon those who eat suhoor. right? What else do you want? You eat suhoor and you get Allah's mercy and Allah's subhanallah wa ta'ala forgiveness. And then after that, as we said, just try your best to pray sunnah at home. This is actually the best, right? To pray sunnah at home and to apply sunnah, right? When you say sunnah, sometimes people come to ask, it is sunnah or wajib? It is something obligatory upon us or something is only sunnah to do? Why do they ask this question? Because if you answer them by saying it is sunnah, they would say to you it's okay, so you can leave it. It's not a big deal, right? And if it's wajib, oh, now I have to stop and think, how can I do it? They said the Sahaba used to ask about Sunnah to do it. But nowadays, some people, they ask about Sunnah to leave it. Right? The Sunnah is to make it at home, try to pray the Sunnah of Fajr at home, and to come to the masjid to pray Fajr. Don't say, I'm going to pray at home. Right? Ramadan. If you don't pray Fajr at the masjid in Ramadan, so when will you pray Fajr at the masjid? When? Like Fajr is made at the masjid by Allah, is not by us. Like it's not like we as a community agreed to just open the masjid for Fajr while it's something optional. No. Who command us to go to Fajr? The Prophet ﷺ, he said, بشر المشائين في الظلم بالنور التام يوم القيامة. He said, give a glad tidings to those who walk in the darkness. Of what? Of the complete full light on the day of judgment. Those who walk in the darkness, Allah will give them the complete and full light on the day of judgment. So one of the obstacles that we might face is how to go to masjid to pray Fajr. To pray Fajr. If we succeed to do that, mashallah, it's a great achievement. It's a great achievement. Now we get rid of one of the elephant. Like, you know what, you eat your suhoor now, or you finish your suhoor now, and you want to take rest, you want to just sleep before you go to work. Wallahi, some people, they might even eat and they sleep before even praying Fajr. Right? Let me take a nap. And it's gone now, Fajr is gone. Right? And ignoring one salah in Ramadan or any time is a big sin in Allah's view, subhanahu wa ta'ala. So first of all, we need to do something extraordinary, like something we haven't done before, right? Like, okay, I don't have the habit to pray Fajr at the masjid. I'm going to make it as a habit for me right now. From now on, Fajr will be at the masjid, inshallah. Of course, this is for men. For women, the best for them is to pray at home. The best for women is to pray at home, right? So, and also the women, they cannot delay Fajr till sunrise. Like some women, they don't care sometimes about the time of Salah. The time of Salah is something upon men to maintain like women, or upon women to maintain like men. There's no difference between men and women when it comes to the time of Salah. Like some sisters, they take it easy to pray maybe Fajr after sunrise, or like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. Right? It happens. They think it's okay. No, it's not okay. Right? Or they pray Dhuhr with Asr because they're busy cooking. Right? No, sister, stop cooking now. Stop cooking now. Cooking now is not going to give you the reward. To cook for your family is something good, but don't compromise your salah. Yes, I know. Just you cook, you get reward, right, by cooking, but don't compromise your salah, right? Sometimes, because especially at Asr time, our sisters or our mothers, they are so busy at home, right, in the kitchen, and maybe they don't pray Asr till after Maghrib. Till Maghrib is due now. So why? Because she's busy, and she wants to make like a delicious food for you. No, it's your responsibility to say to your wife, don't do anything right now, go and pray. It's our responsibility. Go and pray, right? For me, it's not a big deal, even to eat after Isha, right? Or to eat anything. And Salah is not going to take more than 15 minutes. Wudu and Salah, right? So it's not a big deal, right? So don't ignore your Salah and don't pray after time. We have to emphasize on that. Sometimes in Ramadan, people only think about the Taraweeh. That's it. Ramadan means what? Taraweeh. So the whole day he does whatever he wants. And the Taraweeh comes, mashallah, is fighting with his brother to pray. And that's it. While Taraweeh is what? Is wajib? Is it wajib Taraweeh? It's not wajib, right? Wallahi, Fajr prayer is much more important than Taraweeh. Way difference. No even comparison, right? To pray Fajr like on time, right? This is actually greater than praying Taraweeh every night and ignoring Fajr. So we need to do everything. This month we need to do whatever we can. And if you cannot do the best in this month, so when, right? So I said now, Fajr, and you come to Masjid, if you have a chance to sit after Fajr, I'm going to make this rule here, inshallah. No, after Fajr, no, there is no more socialization. All right, even no more questions. Yes, we can give khatira for 5 minutes, there's going to be more than that. And then adhkar. Adhkar. To say, sometimes, wallah, we get even distracted, even inside Masjid. Right? By talking, brother, are want to socialize now. MashaAllah, they want to digest their suhoor. By coming either speaking, no, you just come to this is like time for adhkar. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala designated this time for adhkar, like after Fajr till sunrise, right? Allah, sometimes even I go to Masjid and I pray Fajr, and after Fajr I don't have time to say adhkar because of the questions, talking, what do you call, making like anything which is not even significant, right? Or even significant, but it has like time to be done. Like we can do it different time, right? Or any other time after that. So adhkar, to say adhkar in the morning, right? And after you finish adhkar, you pray duha time after the sun rising, 10 minutes, you pray duha time. What are you going to get when you do that? You pray Fajr now, saying adhkar, right? And praying duha time. قال صلى الله عليه وسلم من صلى الفجر ثم جلس يذكر الله حتى تطلع الشمس ثم صلى ركعتين كانت له كأجر حجة وعمرة تامة تامة تامة. Authentic hadith. Yes, some scholars said it's acceptable hadith, and they said if you can do it, do it. Whoever prays Fajr, right, and then he sits at his, like he keeps himself seated at his place of Salah, saying adhkar till sun rises, and then he prays 2 rak'ah, right? He will be given the reward of what? Hajj and Umrah in full, in full, in full. Subhanallah. How great reward it is. By only an hour now, not only an hour, to pray Fajr and sit only an hour, begin to end. And then you go home, you go to work, you do whatever you want, right? It's up to you, but don't forget to have your adhkar. Now, something I want to also highlight here, sometimes we have time between times, like at work even. Like we can get some 15 minutes here. Like between, like in your even, now there's no lunch break for you, but there is lunch break already, but there's no food. You have time now. So this time either to use it, either to take a nap if you can, right? Because now this nap will help you stand in prayer at night. Or if you're okay, right, you have a chance to take a nap after you go home, after you go back. So now you can recite Quran. So an hour of Quran while you're at work, right? Because there is no food now. There's no you have your own time to recite. So now I want to finish Quran, so you can finish Quran. If you only take this hour, right? And my advice is to get a nap. Like before Maghrib, after Dhuhr if you can, or after Asr if there is. But this nap should stop and you should wake up before Maghrib, right? Before Maghrib, you should wake up at least 30 minutes before Maghrib to do adhkar. The same that you did in the morning, you do in the evening. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, let me give you this glad tidings. He said sallallahu alaihi wasallam, للصائم عند فطره دعوة لا ترد. A fasting person, at the time of his iftar, he has a da'wah which will never be rejected. Right? Okay? So this da'wah would be when you actually break your fasting. There another hadith which says, ثلاثة لا ترد دعوته. Three three categories of people, their dua will never be rejected. One of them, الصائم حتى يفطر. The fasting person till he breaks his fasting. That means it actually includes all the hours of siyam from the beginning to the end, from Fajr to the end. So now you have throughout the whole day a chance to make dua. And dua is هو العبادة. Dua is all about ibadah. Or the dua itself is ibadah actually, right? Now, Maghrib comes. You make dua, istighfar, tasbih, subhanallah, 100 times, alhamdulillah, 100 times, right? لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك والحمد وهو على كل شيء قدير, 100 times, اللهم صل على محمد. All these أذكار of المساء, وأمسى الملك لله والحمد لله. See all of these أذكار. And now the time of iftar now. When it comes to iftar now, you need to know how to break your fast. The Prophet he used to eat what? He used to eat what?
Water and dates.
First, start with what?
Water.
No. Which date? He used to start with the fresh date. We call it rotab. The ripe, fresh, right? Date. If there is no fresh date, he will eat dry dates, like we know, like dry dates that we have, almost, right? Like always, we have what you call the dry date, right? If there is no dry date, he would drink water, right? So you start with that. If you have fresh date, this is sunnah to start with, right? And then after that, would you continue eating, or would you go to pray Maghrib? So many people, they do that. They eat immediately after Maghrib. They don't even pray unless maybe close to Isha time, right? So no, you just start eating. You only start with these dates and water, and then you go and pray. If this kind of some samosa is okay, no problem, right? But don't eat too much, and then eat and go and pray. After Maghrib, as we said today, we find most of the masajid are empty, right? So Maghrib is still one of the salawat that we have to maintain at the masjid, right? Especially if your home is close to the masjid, you can go easily to the masjid. You can ask your family to also do what? To break their fast with dates, with tamr, right? And then to pray to, right? And then you pray at the Maghrib to maintain Allah's masajid. By the way, the difficult thing that you do in your life for the sake of Allah, this is the thing that you will get a great reward for it. Like come to the masjid at your ease, when you have free time, you're going to get reward. I'm not saying that. But it's not like coming to the masjid while you want to do something else. You come to the masjid while you're busy. Some people say, I'm busy. So if you are busy, come to the masjid. Because you're busy, right? That means what? If you are busy, come to pray. Because when you come to pray while you're busy, that's gonna do what for you? Now this is a sacrifice, right? This is something actually great. It's a good chance for you. The sister, she's cooking at home in the kitchen, and we say if you're busy at home, doing anything, just cut everything, stop everything, and then go pray, right? Don't delay your salah after, like, till the time is already over, right? So this is actually a very important thing to do, just to come. And then after you pray, you can go and, of course, you pray sunnah, and you can go and eat, right? So if there's like food for you, try not to eat too much. Like if there's like your wife, mashallah, prepared a goat for you alone, like you can eat. So you don't have to eat the whole goat, right? It might be like enough to eat something, because why? Eating too much will affect on your salah. Which salah? No, Tarawih now. Night prayer now. Now people come to pray Tarawih. Subhanallah. Sometimes we sleep. We sleep in salah, right or wrong? You sleep. You can't even stand. And mashallah, after you finish Tarawih, fresh man, because you digested everything while you were praying. You slept, you took your nap, After Taraweeh, everyone is fresh. He is ready to socialize till, mashallah, 2 hours after Taraweeh. But in Taraweeh, it's like, why? Because he actually didn't do the sunnah. Eating too much, he didn't take a nap. Sleeping, one of the good deeds. Sleeping for the sake of Allah. You need to sleep for the sake of Allah. You know that? When you take a nap during the day while you're fasting, this is what will bring to you the blessing of Taraweeh. Mu'adh ibn Jabal, he used to say, Wallahi inni la ahtasibu nawmati kama ahtasibu qawmati. Mu'adh, he said that. He said, Wallahi, I consider my time of sleeping as a good deed the same way I do with my prayer at night, the time of prayer. Like I stand in salah, it's a good deed. I sleep, it's a good deed. When I sleep for what? To be able to continue the day. So when you take a nap, it's not like, no, you're not Superman now when you just, wake up from before Fajr, as we mentioned, till Isha, and you want to, inshallah, continue praying Taraweeh, you're focused too. It's not like something actually, the Prophet ﷺ, he said, what did he say? He said, alayhi salam, he said, he said, he commanded us to take a nap, and he said, قِيلُوا فَإِنَّ الشَّيَاطِينَ لا تقيل. He said, take a nap during the day, because the devils don't take a nap. Subhanallah. So taking a nap is what bring to you the goodness, right? Huh? Have you ever thought about this point? It's authentic hadith. قِيلُوا فَإِنَّ الشَّيَاطِينَ لَا تَقِيلُ. You take a nap during the day, it will help you, because the devils don't take a nap, it will help you stand in prayer. Not only coming physically to pray, what is your soul? He said many people come to masjid to pray, but they don't pray. They're sleeping. They are sleeping because they work too much, or they are very exhausted. And they come to pray, they give Allah, or they give the time of salah leftover. The leftover from this, for their time, they have to be, mashallah, fresh, and they have to be focused when they go to work, right? When they go to work, they have to be focused, and we're going to pray Isha now, so only a few minutes. So brother is, Muslim?
His wife is waiting outside.
Muslim? Okay. So, when you go to work to earn money, you have to be very focused and fresh. And mashallah, when it comes to salah, barely we do it. If we do it like while, if it happens once, twice, but every night you come to salah sleeping. Every night. What that? Right? What that? Do you think you're not responsible? Or this is something out of your control? No. No. Right? So we have to make sure that when you come to pray, sometimes we stand up. Wallah, you're able to stand sometimes. We do that, right? To stand outside masjid, socializing for hours. Standing, talking to a brother or your friend, right? Or at work. No problem. Come to masjid. Now even you make ruku' and so even easier, right? But no, Imam now he took 50 seconds more than the designated time. This 50 seconds we have to, Why? Because we actually, the end of the day now for us. So Ramadan is different. Ramadan we have to start our day after Isha to make sure that we are fresh, we are able to pray, to focus. Then you finish your Taraweeh, right? With Imam. Is it okay to pray with Imam 4 rak'ah and to leave? What is the best here to do? What is the best here? قال صلى الله عليه وسلم من صلى مع إمامه حتى ينصرف كتب له قيام ليلة. Whoever stands in prayer with his Imam, behind his Imam, till his Imam finished his Salah, he will be given the reward of one night. as if as if he stood the whole night in prayer, right? Now you finish the Taraweeh. Now use use your time, right? In the best possible way. You need to sleep early with the intention of waking up before Fajr again, right? To continue the journey to pray 2 rak'ah. Even if you pray witr with the Imam, can you pray 2 rak'ah after witr? Can you do that? Like now I finished witr with the Imam, right? But I woke up in the morning, like in the middle of the night or before Fajr. Can I still pray 2 rak'ah? Yes. The Prophet ﷺ, he did that. He prayed 2 rak'ah after witr, right? So you can still you can wake up and you can pray 2 rak'ah before Fajr, right? Where nobody sees you, just you're alone. You pray 2 rak'ah. You ask Allah Subhanahu wa Taala as you mentioned. This is actually in brief. These are programs, but as I mentioned before, we need to stop. We need to stop and to handle the other hurdles, the challenges. Say the elephants. We need to stop that because we might gain great rewards and then give it to somebody else. When you just speak about somebody, right? Backbite somebody. So in all of these all of these actual efforts, you give it to somebody. I'm going to conclude by this hadith. The Prophet ﷺ one day he said to the Sahaba, "Atadruna man al-muflis?" Do you know who is the bankrupt person? The bankrupt person. They said, "Ya Rasulullah, al-muflis fina man la dirham lahu wala mata'." The one who is a bankrupt person among us is the one who doesn't have money, dirham, doesn't have property. This is a bankrupt person. He said, "No." المفلس من أمتي من يأتي يوم القيامة بصيام listen بصيام وصلاة وزكاة ويأتي وقد سب هذا وشتم هذا وأكل مال هذا وسفك دم هذا فيأخذ هذا من حسناته وهذا من حسناته حتى إذا فنيت حسناته قبل أن يقضي ما عليه أخذ من سيئاتهم ثم طرحت عليه ثم طرح في النار. The bankrupt person in my nation is the one who comes or who will come on the day of judgment, who will be resurrected with what? With fasting, siyam. A lot of siyam he did, mashallah, and salah, and zakah. He used to give charity and zakah, and he used to go to Umrah and Hajj. And then, so what happened to him? What's the problem? He would come. While he cursed this person, he insulted that person, he ate the money, he took the money of that person, right? He killed that person. All of these things he did, or he did one of them, right? So what's going to happen with the judgment? فَيَأْخُذُ هَذَا مِنْ حَسَنَاتِ. So those people will be given the chance, the right to take from their hasanat. On the day of judgment, the currency over there is not dollars, right? Is what? Hasanat, sayyat. You have your hasanat, subhanAllah. So what's going to happen? He will be given willingly now his hasanat to others because he wronged them. So now he has to pay off. He has to pay off. He will give it. So now Ramadan will be given to somebody. Take it. Astaghfirullah. You fasted the whole month and then give it to somebody. Why? Because you were taken evil against him, backbiting him. And siyam and salat, all of these things, right? What happens if his hasanat are like, he ran out of his hasanat? What's going to happen? If he runs out of hasanat, what's going to happen?
He takes a sayyat.
He will be given the sayyat, the sins of others. It will be put on him. So he never ever drank in his life. But he actually oppressed a person who was drinking. The sayyat will be given to him. His sayyat. And then he will be thrown into the hellfire. May Allah save us. So when you speak about the good deeds in Ramadan, we shouldn't forget the bad deeds. We shouldn't forget stopping the leak of the bad deeds, right? And make sure that one of the scholars said, Wallahi, you know what? I like to go to masjid, to stay at the masjid. Why? To protect myself. He said that, one of the scholars, one of the tabi'een, said, I like in Ramadan to stay at the masjid. When he was asked, said, why? He said, to protect my siyam. Nowadays, when you go to masjid, still, sometimes we cannot even protect our siyam. Inside masjid, we backbite. Right or wrong? Inside the masjid, we do sins. With phones, inside the masjid, we might listen music or watch something haram. Inside masjid. Imagine this fitna, this temptation. You have your phone at the masjid. Still, it's not even a good time for you to protect your hasanat. Sahaba used to go to masjid to protect themselves. They will go outside. Nowadays, everything is with you. So my advice to my brother and to myself, try to wean ourselves. You know the wean? When you wean a baby, right? Huh? We need to wean ourselves from this phone because we became actually addicted to this phone, right? Stop. I'm not saying like the serious job, don't do it, but stop like other stuff, right? So we want to actually work on that and to ask Allah to enable us and to Allah to say Allahumma a'inna ala dhikrika wa shukrika wa husni ibadatik all the time and making dua istighfar. One more thing here, charity and zakah. It's very the Prophet ﷺ, he used to be so generous. And in Ramadan, he used to be more generous than the wind. Like he used to give money in Ramadan, like Subhanallah, al-rih al-mursala, very quick wind, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right? And he used to study Quran. The Prophet said, to study Quran every year in Ramadan with whom? With Jibreel alayhi salam. The year he died, he did it twice. Sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So if we don't change our lifestyle in Ramadan, when will we change it? If we don't get the benefits from this month to continue our life, so when? Right? So every one of us has bad habits. We need to get rid of these habits, right? Inshallah, in the month of Ramadan, we stay away from halal, right? From food, we stay from. So how can we stop halal and then make haram after that, right? We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect us and our family from all the temptations of this life, from all the obstacles, and to make it inshallah easy on us, inshallah. Any question? Any question about Siyam, about the brother they asked about the COVID vaccine, can you get it? The scholars said yes, you can get the vaccine, which is not actually a nutrition injection. If it's not a nutrition, so you can get it, right? So, but if it's like, of course, nutrition, of course, it's gonna they said also it's better to avoid that if you can avoid it, right? But if you need it urgently, inshallah, your sawm is okay. Your sawm is okay. For those who had days, our women, our sisters who had days from the previous year, they have to hurry up now, almost 2 or 3 days, right? And to make up the day that they broke from the previous Ramadan. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it easy, inshallah, on us. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept our Ramadan. Jazakumullah khairan, subhanahu wa ta'ala, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.
I have to ask you.